Hi, welcome to Loft 801. My name is Diego, and today I'm talking about The Gorge. Directed by Scott Derrickson and released on Apple TV Plus on February 14th, 2025, it is a genre-blending film that intertwines elements of action, science fiction, and romance. Starring Milesteller as Levi, Kane and Anya Taylor-Joy as Drasa, the movie explores the dynamic between two elite snipers stationed on opposite sides of a mysterious chasm. Quick heads up before I hop into everything, this review will contain some spoilers, so please continue at your own risk. Alright, you've been warned, so I'm hopping in 3, 2, 1. Again, the narrative centers on Levi and Drasa, two highly trained operatives assigned to guard a deep gorge of unknown origin. Their mission is to prevent any entities from emerging and to ensure the containment of whatever lies within. Isolated in their respective towers, the two develop a connection through handwritten messages and binocular exchanges, leading to a clandestine romance. As their bond deepens, Levi ziplines to Drasa and solidifies their relationship. As he attempts to zipline back, things go awry and he ends up in the gorge with Drasa following after him. Inside the gorge, they confront grotesque creatures called Hollow Men. The pair discovered the gorge as part of a secret conspiracy orchestrated by their boss. The gorge was a biological warfare test site that was breached by an earthquake, causing humans, fauna, and flora to mutate together. The gorge is still being researched to exploit military might, and the climax sees Levi and Drasa battling Hollow Men and their boss. The conspiracy plot in this movie is a little contrived. Specifically, I didn't care for Sigourneyweaver's character of Bartholomew. I feel like her character was brought in simply so the marketing could say this film featured Sigourney Weaver. However, I really liked the exploration of the gorge. It felt very untamed and like a town lost to time. The gorge was very eerie and beautiful. I really loved seeing the different purple, yellow, and red hues to make it feel otherworldly. I also really loved the creature designs. I don't care about the CGI or the realism at all. This is a sci-fi movie and I'm happy I actually got some cool sci-fi production design and monsters. They reminded me so much of the Flood from Halo. In fact, romance aside, that's the vibe I got from this movie. It almost felt like I was watching 343 Guilty Spark played out but with a Hollywood lens. Were the stakes as high as a Halo game? Yes. Did the stakes feel as high as a Halo game? No. Despite the awesome premise and setting in this movie, the stakes feel very low because both characters have severe plot armor. At the beginning of the movie, we are teased that entire armies were lost in the gorge trying to tame it. That makes it really hard to believe that two Special Forces agents are going to survive in the gorge. But lo and behold, they do. While I'm a sucker for a happy ending, I do think this movie would have been a lot better if Levi or Drasa had died to the Hollow Men or an amalgamous creature. Their lasting impact or legacy would have been a lot stronger. I think that would have left a lasting impression on me. I mentioned Levi and Drasa, so let's talk about Milesteller and Anya Taylor-Joy. I'll be honest, I liked both of their characters and portrayals in this movie. I like that each character has their own backstory, mission, and feelings, yet they still come to like each other. I think the chemistry between both actors was great. I love how Levi is a bit stoic but lets his layers down the more he gets to know Drasa. Is their romance across the gorge believable? It's maybe not likely, but yeah, sure. Everybody reacts differently to complete isolation. Just watch a Mr. Beast video and you'll see. Now, while I did like the romance between the two leads, it did contribute to their plot armor and led to this movie having two different tones. The entire first half of the movie is the romance plot. The second half of the movie is the gorge and conspiracy plot. Again, while I like the romance, it was insignificant to the gorge. I don't think half of this movie should have been dedicated to the romance plot. In fact, I don't even think the romance was necessary. Here's my pitch on how to make this movie better. For starters, have 3 Spec Op agents on each side of the gorge. One side is the American-British side and the other side is Russian. When the Hollow Men attack the towers, have 1 American man die. This would immediately show that the Hollow Men are deadly and the Spec Op agents need to be on their A game. Over time, as each team communicates across the gorge and they learn about each other, the Americans take the risk of ziplining across. They break bread, become friends, and regularly zipline back and forth. One day, one of the Russian agents tries to zipline, the cable snaps, and he falls into the gorge. Both teams presume he's dead. 2 months later, they get attacked by the Hollow Men and notice one of the Hollow Men is their dead Russian comrade. The Americans kill him but are curious and decide to explore the gorge and get answers. The Russians remain in their tower. In the gorge, the British Spec Op agent dies, and just when it looks like the remaining American is cooked, the Russians arrive to save him. Together, the trio explore and get their answers about the failed science experiment town. They plot to release this information to the world, but as they try escaping, the American agent is killed and only one Russian agent climbs out of the gorge safely. After a year, when she's finally picked up to be relieved from duty, she's shot in the head and the secret dies and the film ends. I think a movie where the characters die would have much greater stakes and would help us appreciate their interactions more. Let me know if a plot like that would have worked or if I'm completely crazy. I also think this movie would have benefited if the interaction connections between Levi and Drasa had been explored more in depth in person rather than the superficial-ish relationship across the gorge. I would have loved to see the two characters grow to care for each other by working hand in hand together. Again, please don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed this movie, I'm just offering my 2 cents. Again, the idea of containing and researching sci-fi entities is really cool to me, and I think it was executed well in this movie. Another game storyline this reminded me of is Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies, specifically Black Ops 2 Transit. The production design and story scratch my nostalgia and sci-fi itch. The Gorge is a visually striking and intriguing sci-fi film that delivers on atmosphere, tension, and world building, but struggles with stakes and pacing. While the romance between Levi and Drasa adds an emotional layer, it also weakens the film's sense of danger by providing both characters with plot armor. The production design, cinematography, and creature designs are undeniably a highlight, with the Gorge itself feeling like a living, breathing entity, reminiscent of Halo's Flood and Call of Duty Zombies. However, adding a supporting cast and a more ruthless approach to character survival could have elevated the stakes and made this film's tension more gripping. Despite its shortcomings, The Gorge is an entertaining watch with a fascinating premise, solid performances, and moments of genuine sci-fi brilliance. It may not redefine the genre, but it certainly carves out its own niche as a thrilling and visually captivating adventure. If you liked Halo's Flood or Black Ops Zombies, this film might scratch your nostalgic and sci-fi itch. It certainly scratched mine, and I would recommend it. Thank you for listening to my review of The Gorge. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like and hit subscribe. If you did not enjoy the content, thank you for sticking around. As always, I would love to read what you have to say, so leave a comment and let me know what you're thinking. Also, if there's something you want to see reviewed, don't forget to let me know and I will do my best to get to it. Lastly, if you want to see some more from me, then you can check out my vlogs linked up above or my podcast Good Friends. Again, thank you for watching. My name is Diego and I will see you next time.